Good afternoon to everyone here on the East Coast, and good morning to our Central and Pacific Time attendees. Thank you for joining our webinar this morning in what we view as unprecedented times. And we found that it has been imperative to build the agents we work with and agents we'd like to work with a work from home guide to continuing to do business, to serve this public health crisis. We're seeing a huge demand in consumer desire to purchase life insurance. So we have merged multiple technology solutions to give you a deliverable that allows you to write upwards of $7 to possibly $8 million of life insurance, both term and permanent, without leaving the comfort of your own home. Just quick story. We had an applicant in New York City, $10 million business coverage. Exam was scheduled for yesterday. Examiner arrives at the gentleman's home. He opens the door, suggests that he understands the reason for her desire to be there, asked what was her method of transportation, and how did she arrive at his home this morning. And she expressed that she used the subway, and he said, "Ma'am, I apologize, but I cannot let you into my home." So as we are facing these dilemmas, I'm certain that you as agents are facing these dilemmas, and it makes the kit that we have put together for you even more imperative to continue activity for the unforeseeable future, right? These services are going to need to be adapted because it has become the new norm. Today with me, I have our Director of New Business, Melissa Bucknight, who has put together the majority of this kit. Melissa offers her tutorials in a one-to-one fashion. So if there's anything we missed today, we're happy to schedule a one-to-one session with Melissa, and I think you'll see that what she has put together is extremely useful. Today's call will be recorded, so if you are an active attendee, you will receive a recording shortly after the close of our webinar. For the sake of time, I promise to keep this a 30-minute session. I'm sure all of you are dealing with and fielding multiple calls and multitasking, particularly with your moonlighting duties of parenting, head chef, housekeeper, school teacher, and insurance agent. So we promise to keep this to the 12:30 minimum. I'm going to ask that you type your questions into the bottom of the control bar. There is a question tab. You'll expand that. You'll enter your question, and then Melissa and I promise to do as best we can to answer all of your questions. If there are any questions that are unanswered, we do see who you are and what your question is, and we will follow up with you on a one-to-one basis. Hopefully, our technology has worked, and Melissa is on the line. Melissa, are you with us this afternoon?
Yes, I am here. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, perfectly fine. Thank you.
Okay,
So
great.
I'm gonna set the table briefly here, and then I'm gonna turn this over to Melissa. In the work from home essential kit, we're finding that there are some necessities that you will need to be successful in transacting business from the home. Number one, first and foremost, e-application, right? You are not going to be able to get in front of clients. Clients are not traveling to your office. No one is completing paperwork at the moment. And in order to complete an e-app, right, this technology is wonderful, but we need data to be able to complete the e-app. So number two on our necessity list is a form fillable preliminary app. We call this our intake form. So what this means is that you can email this form to your client, They will complete in a form fillable fashion, no signatures required, all of the data necessary for you to complete an e-app at your leisure. Third, and also back to our pyramid story, right? If you can find a pyramid that's even willing to go out to someone's home, then you need a consumer willing to allow them to come into the home. So we're finding the need for non-medical underwriting is imperative. E-signatures, very difficult to transact, paper, scans, emails. Not everyone is equipped with a printer and scanner at home. We have relied on some third-party apps like TurboScan, but the e-app, the luxury of using e-apps has been certainly our method, our preferred method. Transacting checks, right? Well, you don't know how reliable or how long the mail service, particularly FedEx, UPS, is going to deliver non-essential items. So the ability to accept first payment by EFT form or credit card is extremely important. The ability to mobile quote, you can utilize our website, lifebrokerageLLC.com, or we have an app. If you go out to the Apple Store or Google Play, you can download the Life Brokerage app. You can run quotes at your fingertips. All the essentials are there. Video conferencing. If you have a large case or you need to help us present with you to a client and you don't have video capability, we will gladly do joint sessions with you and your clients using the GoToMeeting platform. And lastly, we're going to want to make sure you're contracted with the particular carrier in the state you're looking to solicit in prior to taking the e-app. Otherwise, the carrier has no way to identify who the writing agent is on that piece of business. So these are the 8 essentials that we've developed for you to work from home. We have a landing page on the Life Brokerage LLC website, Agent Home-Based Toolkit, right at the top. All of these things and resources are going to be available to you in that one centralized location. And as things are moving very quickly. Right? Carriers are lightening the need for requirements. They are trying to work with us, so things are changing rapidly. We will keep you updated on that homepage. This morning, Mutual of Omaha allowed their flagship IUL to go through the express underwriting platform. National Life increased from $1 million to $2 million. Penn Mutual will allow the ACE program up to $5 million, but currently they're not contracting new agents. So we will keep you up to speed minute to minute on that landing page. So having said that, I'm going to turn this over to Melissa to describe some of the services that she has built for our benefit. And Mel, I'm going to make you the presenter. If you have any issues, just throw it back to me and I can gladly maneuver the slides for you.
Thank you so much, AJ. And yeah, I'm still struggling getting into the GoToWebinar. So I'm not going to be able to, unfortunately, have control of the slides, but I do, I'm reviewing them as we go through it. And the first slide that I have up is the e-application registration. Thank you, everybody, for I'm sorry?
Yeah, just briefly, I shared one quick screenshot of the form fillable client intake form that we referenced in a prior discussion. And the next slide here we have, Mel, is the e-app application registration bullets 1 through 7.
Okay, great. And thank you so much to everyone taking time out of their day to hop on this call. I think it will be beneficial. I'm having a lot of agents setting up one-on-ones with me now so they can get acclimated to the system. And it's very simple to use. It's user-friendly, and I'm here as a resource for you. So if you have not already registered for our website, that would be the first thing that you would need to do. The slide that you're viewing right now gives you the basics. You're just going to follow those steps, and that will allow you to register for our website. You'll be able to enter in, and on, I believe the next slide, AJ, is going to show you what the e-app page will look like once you're logged in if you want to start a new case. Do you have that pulled up there?
I do.
Okay, perfect. So this will be, once you're logged in, you'll go to this page, you'll enter the proposed insured's information, and that'll help you keep everything organized and tracked, because all of the e-applications that you do submit will be saved under your cases. So if you start something but you're not able to finish it, you're able to save it and view it later. So once you provide that information and then you go down to the carrier and product section, you'll enter in the state and the product type, find available products. All of the products that are available in that state electronically will show up there. You're going to see some carriers, for example, Principal will have 3 different applications for you to choose from. What you'll normally see is a long, full application, which is identical to the paper app that you're used to, except it's an electronic form. Clients are going to need an e-sign. And then you'll also see another option. There's a couple different names for it. It'll be something along the lines of a quick form, drop ticket, and it's much more abbreviated. It's usually only maybe 2 or 3 pages of information that you'll need to include, and the client does not need to e-sign it. From that point, there is going to be, with most companies, there is going to be a phone interview that the client will need to complete to provide all the information that wasn't collected at that point, or an email will be sent to them for them to enter in the information. So it's less work for the agent to get it submitted, and then the client would just pick it up. So you'll be able to see, if you ever have questions on that, feel free to reach out to your case manager. You can feel free to reach out to me, and we can walk you through it. But you will notice that when you're in there. Also, New York does have carriers that allow for e-applications, but they're fewer than in other states. So just keep that in mind. The next slide is going to be the e-application tutorial. So once you're logged in, if you've never done it before and you'd like to watch a brief video that'll basically just show you what it looks like when you enter in a full case, those are the instructions to be able to access that. It's, like I said, it's short, it's simple, but it will show you exactly what you'll be doing when you have a live case. Something that I recommend is to do a practice one on yourself. Just enter in the information, get a feel for it, see how it goes. Some of the questions that agents tend to ask me about e-applications is if the system's able to accept cases where the insured and owner are different, and most of them do. It'll ask you if the owner's different. If the owner's different, a different series of questions will pop up, and you'll just answer them. The same thing if there's any type of, say, aviation. If you answer yes to that question, we're talking long applications, it'll prompt you to complete the supplement. So it's very interactive. So one other thing that I would like to note, if you're stuck when you're doing an e-application because there's a required question and for your particular case it doesn't make sense, you can definitely enter in NA, you could enter in 0, something like that, to bypass that section, because the system sometimes just wants something to be able to move to the next page or to the next section. So just little things like that to keep in mind. And the more you do it, the more you'll, get familiar with the little, pain points of the system. There's not many, but just those couple of things to keep in mind. On the next page or the next slide, there are 2 screenshots. The one on top will be Start New Case and View My Cases. This is also what you'll see when you first log in. If you're able to see, I have the Need Assistance drop down, and if you were to go to Help, the next screenshot at the bottom corner where it says Knowledge Base Articles, there's a lot of different resources here. So if you get stuck at any point, that will walk you through what you need to do. So for example, if you've locked a case but you need to make a change, that'll give you step-by-step instructions on how to do that. Also, here is where you would be able to, under Getting Started, take the tour of video. So that's what I described earlier, where it will go through entering an e-application from start to finish. Another subject that that AJ had mentioned, and something that we're really pushing, especially at this time, is accelerated underwriting. Um, like he had also mentioned, we are constantly getting updates from carriers. More carriers are offering this. I imagine more and more are going to be rolling this out during this time because a lot of them have already been working on it. They just may not have released it, and I think that this was the push that they need to release it. Um, this is perfect. You can even couple this with an e-application. The client can have a sense of comfort because they're not going to have to worry about meeting with an examiner. It's always important to make the client aware that we're going to try and get them approved without an exam. However, it's not guaranteed, and there is a possibility that they are going to need an exam. So just want to make sure that we're setting the appropriate expectations with the client. Um, what he also mentioned is there's that quick reference guide available on the agent home base toolkit that we have on the website. There's a lot of carriers. It'll give you the ages, the face amount ranges to find out which carrier makes sense for your client. Also, for accelerated underwriting, we won't have to worry about exams, hopefully, or APSs, because exams, I had a situation the other day where an examiner was unable to meet the client at their home and ask them to come into their local office to be examined. And the client was not happy with that solution. Exam ended up getting canceled. We'll look to reschedule, in the next few weeks. Hopefully things will get back to normal sooner rather than later. But, it's possible that we're going to see that. Also, APSs have always been a pain point for our industry, and there's a lot of larger facilities that just take, a minimum of 30 days to get records out. A lot of doctors' offices are very frank, and they say that it's not a priority, and they're not going to turn it around as quickly as we liked, and we imagine that that's going to get worse in the next few weeks, the next months, and so forth. So if we can avoid getting medical records by trying at least to submit something through accelerated underwriting, that'll also give us an advantage. We're also pushing to have, mobile quoting through our website, through our Life Brokerage app. It's a free app through our phone. And another thing to definitely keep in mind is please make sure that we have you contracted, or at least your contracting has been started. There are a few carriers that will let you submit an e-application before you have an actual appointment code, but a lot of them do prefer that you do, just to make sure that everything gets lined up appropriately and there's no issues with that. The next slide that I'm taking a look at here is the policy delivery. More and more carriers are offering that right now. We definitely encourage you to take advantage of that and to use that as long as the client's comfortable with it. Some companies are only providing e-delivery at this point. Received some information from Mass Mutual, some information from Penn Mutual. They are entirely remote right now, and there's no physical policies that are being sent out. So they're either sending it in the form of e-delivery or just a PDF of the policy that we can forward to you guys. Once things resume back to normal, they are allowing us to request a physical policy, but we just don't know when that's going to happen. So just another thing to keep in mind, and other carriers may follow suit. I'm not sure. Definitely keep you up to speed on all of that. Principal, for example, is forcing e-delivery, and they have been for months on term products, as long as it's not in New York. So we've been doing that. If client's not comfortable with e-delivery, we can just send you a PDF of the policy. You can just have them, sign the delivery requirements and email them back. The goal really here is just to not mail anything, whether that be a check or signed documents, to us or to the carrier, because there's definitely going to be delays, and we don't want that to happen, and we don't want your check or your client's check to just be sitting there for a week or 2 weeks. Most policies, when they're issued, they do come with an EFT form. The majority of carriers will allow the initial premium to be paid with an EFT form. I can't think of one off the top of my head that does not. So that's something to try to push as much as possible. Also, there are third-party apps, Genius Scan and Turbo Scan. They're free. They're for your phone, and you'll be able to scan paper documents, and they'll create a multi-PDF file for you. So definitely try to use that. I know that we've been receiving some pictures of delivery requirements, and some are okay, but some are not, and carriers are not accepting them. So if you are going to take a picture, I strongly urge that you make sure the form numbers on the bottom of the forms are visible and they're clear. Make sure that no corners are cut off. Try to make it look as complete as possible, because if there's no form numbers on there, 9 times out of 10 they will not accept it. And this app, I think, what I've seen come through this app has looked really good. So if you can build that into your system and even suggest it for your clients if they need to send something back to you, again, it's free. That would be a huge help. If your client does not want to use an EFT form to pay the premium, you can offer for them to either send the check directly to the insurance company, as long as they put their policy number on there and they provide you with a copy, because we want to make sure that we're able to track it. If they want to send it to you, just let us know. We'll send you a cover memo. Make sure the policy number is on the check. You can just send us copies, send it to them. Just trying to not delay by having the check first come to our office and then for us to send it there. So if you have any questions with that, feel free to reach out to your case manager. Feel free to reach out to me. We've also put on that agent home-based toolkit acceptable forms of payment for the different carriers. There are a few carriers that do accept credit card payments for initial premiums, but it's not always available in every state. So definitely take a look at that chart. Again, any questions, let us know. We're here to help you guys as much as we possibly can. We know that the majority of our carriers have moved to a fully remote workforce. They are having people periodically, from my understanding, work on mail, but it's not as much staff, and some smaller offices I don't know if they're going every day. So we want to try to do anything in our power to prevent mail. Like I said before, that's the main goal here. But right now, at least from a new business standpoint, I'm not personally experiencing delays when I'm sending emails, when we're submitting applications. So hopefully we don't. Luckily, we're in a time where technology is really advanced, and there was a lot of people that were already working remote, so the system is pretty good. But wanted to just take this time and let you guys know that you should still be receiving the same level of service that you've been receiving prior to this. We're really doing our best to be as responsive as we can and coming up with solutions so that you guys don't feel any negative shift here. So, we're all in this together. We're all in the same situation, and we will get through it. And, we have a toolkit to help us do that.
Well done, Melissa. Thank you. At this time, what we have on the screen is Melissa's contact information. You are welcome to reach out to her directly. Additionally, you will receive a recording and a follow-up email to today's webinar that will give you an opportunity to reply or schedule a 15-minute session with us to enroll, help with EAPS, help with any particular item you may be struggling with. I will also add that there are a couple additional tools that you may want to be aware of. Lincoln has rolled out an executive physical program whereby if an executive has had a physical, professionals of companies, business owners typically do executive physicals every 12 to 18 months. If there is an executive physical on file with the client's physician, we may issue up to $20 million of coverage. John Hancock is running a program, a pilot only, requires special acceptance to certain agents and agencies. If you think you have a fit, we can actually purchase up to their auto binding authority of $65 million, provided they have current favorable APSs. In the short term, if you need to refresh APSs, or if clients can actually obtain them through their health system, their healthcare system, such as Mayo, Kaiser, University of Pennsylvania, if their medical records are online and accessible, they can pull them down and email them to us, hopefully through a secure channel, and satisfy that requirement. Now, the purpose of today's call was to avoid APSs, exams, face-to-face interaction, and keep the chains moving for you. Keep activity up, continue to serve your clients, continue to generate revenue. So at any point in time, should you want to consult with Melissa or myself or the marketers, wholesalers, or any case manager at Life Brokerage, our phone lines are open, our emails are open, we are fully functional, we are ready to serve, and we appreciate you attending this afternoon's webinar. Thank you, and stay safe.